he worked really hard. And it's just his finishing, Christian Pulisic, that let him down. On back by Loftus-Cheek. All a bit harum-scarum with the new players adjusting to their positions and the tempo of the game, which had been long set. Now they've been watching it. Ziyech is now on the left. And it looks like Loftus-Cheek is playing through the middle, Stuart.
He's in the centre-forward position at the moment, which is a surprise.
Alonso headed off by Henderson. Here's Conte. James. Loftus-Cheek's looking at there. Alexander-Arnold. On Ziyech.
Well, the referee wouldn't have seen this, so it's up to the VAR if it is in the box. If anything was wrong with the challenge by Alexander-Arnold, who was trying to stop Ziyech getting into the box. Just watch them in the middle of your picture at the moment. Now they're making their way into the box. Well, he's grabbing hold of his hand, but it was just outside the box and probably wasn't enough to give a penalty.
He was clutching at his man, but Chelsea were clutching at straws. Test of stamina for the spectators as well, but at least they've had previous in this respect, and they're getting full value for the investment in cup final tickets, which do not come cheap.
And what an atmosphere we've had inside the ground and outside of Wembley. The streets were full very early this morning.
Mane trying to judge the bounce. James was strong, not once but twice. Jota was trying to nick it as it broke marginally free. Loftus-Cheek's offside, but Ziyech isn't. Didn't get it across. Alonso was in there, Loftus-Cheek was in there, Mount was in there. Their runs were in vain. And maybe not this one from Diogo Jota. Back by Mount. James. Jorginho, nicely played by Chelsea. Conte wants a run here, but Konate had the turn of foot. He's fitted in well, been a backup player. Tuchel thinks it's a foul, but I don't think you're going to get that.
Well, odds on there when Conte got to the ball, he was going to knock it past him and just burst away. Tuchel was saying, how did that happen?
Good challenge. Ruben Loftus-Cheek is a midfield player, really. Quite recently he's had a few games as the right wing-back. And here he is now with Lukaku off, Havertz injured. And Werner not on.
And is that one of the problems with Loftus-Cheek? Remember, I think it was against Luton in a previous FA Cup tie in this competition. He played as the right-sided centre-back. You know, really found a spot, has he, at Chelsea?
He hasn't convinced Thomas Tuchel of his total conviction. Not that he doesn't try, don't get me wrong, but his natural personality is not perhaps as warlike as managers want, if I can use that word. Forgive me if it's not appropriate. Andy Robertson's off. So close for winning it for Liverpool towards the end of regulation time. Kostas Tsimikas has been a good foil, a good stand-in, Greek international. Plays with the same sort of perky approach, covers the distance.
This man's had a great game, hasn't he? After an opening spell where I thought he was too high up the field and got caught out of position. After that first 20 minutes, he's been excellent. Reece James.
Fabinho. Van Dijk got injured during the match. Salah off. And then Robertson and Luis Diaz, excellent players, starters for Liverpool, presumably from the efforts of the action, being replaced as well. There is Tsimikas, but he's shown too much of it to James. Ball stays in play momentarily. I'm trying to find a piece of paper where I can record the penalties on, Stu.
Timo Werner must be slightly frustrated. He hasn't got a look in when you think that Loftus-Cheek has come onto the centre-forward position.
Yeah.
Timo Werner, on occasions, an out-and-out centre-forward. He has been in Germany.
Up towards Firmino. Full flick from Jorginho. A nice take from Alonso. Sign of fatigue there, and he's covered a lot of ground. Ziyech. Rudiger. Must feel like climbing a mountain. You're never going to get to the top. Especially for Chelsea. Lost the last two FA Cup finals and to Liverpool the League Cup final. Only some 11 weeks ago. James, lovely touch. And here's Loftus-Cheek. Alexander-Arnold gets his head to it. Alonso jumping for it. It falls Liverpool's way.
Well, they were all looking across at the assistant referee. They thought Loftus-Cheek was offside, but the assistant referee had a little point at Alexander-Arnold and said he was keeping everybody on side.
Henderson. So many differences now to the starting lineups for both sides. Another game within the overall context. Konate. Jordan Henderson's been there from the start. Thiago. Couldn't quite take it on with a lucky ricochet. James, no one to play it forward to. He's having a look, and Loftus-Cheek really running the channel. If he had done it, he would have been offside. But they need movement up front.
A shake of the head of one or two Chelsea fans. They know what's coming, I think.
James. Loftus-Cheek can't get there. Tsimikas was very quick off the mark.
Well, there's the passing stat. You can see it's been fairly even. It's been an even game all round, isn't it? Both sides have had their moments. But two equally matched teams here, as has been the case throughout the season. And they've played each other, it has to be said.
was slightly impeded.
Looks like he's going to cross the ball. Good bit of skill. There's the arm that comes out from Reece James.
And it's a very high line. It will drop when it's delivered, but maybe not quite get away with it. And it's a goal kick. Always very much in Liverpool, get it from Manchester City. And you've been a coach at a really good level, Stu. Do you see anything different that's being done these days?
One or two teams now are starting to hold a line on their own 6-yard box.
Really?
And looking to attack the balls that come into the box rather than going back towards their own goal.
So you're coming onto the ball.
So you're coming onto the ball.
Yeah.
Different coaches have had a look at that, and it's been quite...
Well, here's a surprise one. Ross Barkley, born in Liverpool, signed from Everton, never really established himself, certainly not in the last couple of seasons, out on loan as well. I would imagine he would take a penalty, but in the League Cup, and they all took penalties that went that far.
Thomas Tuchel furious at the fourth official. I'm not quite sure why. Looked as though Alonso had taken the ball out.
Even a throw can be costly in the drama closing stages. A very tight FA Cup final. Forward by Alonso. Not big enough to win that one. Henderson. Chelsea's throw, nearly there.
Well, you can see why Real Madrid wanted Rudiger. He's been excellent today. He's just controlled himself. He's... Loftus-Cheek is coming off here.
Ooh. Well, that's not going to help his self-belief, is it?
Well, he's asked to play in a strange position at centre forward. He's tried to make some runs, maybe not as many as the manager wanted. And I think he's been a little bit harsh to his player to take him off. Back to what you said, maybe the manager doesn't think he's quite committed enough.
Yeah, it's hard to find the right words. So it's what he's actually, the words he used, he's got to find the monster inside him. If that explains it properly to everybody.
He wants him to have a bit more devilment, I would say.
Yeah, maybe he hasn't seen that, or maybe his penalty record isn't very good and he's been looking around to see how it goes, but might not yet go. Block on the edge of the area, Henderson. One added minute. Canate. James. Aspilicueta, it's out. It's the Liverpool throw.
Maybe one more last chance. There's the man that had a lot of chances. Diaz, what a game he had. Again, we'll say it, without that end product, that finish.
Yeah, Yeah, you say about Pulisic as well, who had probably a greatest number of chances for Chelsea. His Simicas looked away bravely by Marcos Alonso, thinking he was fouled by Diogo Jota. Maybe he was,
and that's what the referee has given. Good defending by Alonso. Had to get that right. Didn't quite know what was over his shoulder. That is the end of the extra time.
Well, we've had a lot of good football. We've had two teams totally committed to trying to win the cup. It's not been a defensive station from either side, but they know too much about each other, really. There's been no surprise element, and it is no surprise that at the end of another 2 hours of goalless football between Chelsea and Liverpool, it will be settled at Wembley for the second time this year from a penalty shootout. And this time Edouard Mendy is going to be in goal. If he weren't following that Carabao Cup final, he was taken off right towards the end for Arisa Balaga. Didn't work out. Luis Diaz has been given the sponsors manager of the match. I think there's plenty of substance in that, Stuart.
Absolutely. He was the biggest threat in terms of his movement, his pace, his ability to go past people with the ball. Had he scored one or two of those chances, that would have been a magnificent performance from him. I'm sure
Kepa Arrizabalaga joining the conversation. Is he not going to join the match, though, is he?
Well, you can't think he would. Surely Thomas Tuchel wouldn't take that gamble again. I think the first time we ever saw that done was at the World Cup, wasn't it?
Tim Krul, is it? Is that the one you're thinking of?
Tim Krul in Brazil.
Yeah. Tim Krul, who's been playing in the Premier League in England this season with the bottom club Norwich City. Well, the Liverpool penalty takers have broken away from their huddle. First batch, anyway.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you can say as a manager to the players. I'm sure he's not talking about the penalties now. He's talking about the overall performance. Or is he just looking at which he is? He's looking at which players want to take the penalty.
He is, yeah.
So he obviously hadn't made his mind up. They're now making the decisions. Who feels fresh? Who feels fit? Who feels happy about taking a penalty?
What order do you want to be in? Some like to go first, very